you, Jesus. I'm repeating this message. 2 messages. I want to repeat it before we start. Continue. It's prophecy concerning nations, concerning the world. Pray. I'm looking at the wind. I gave this prophecy last week? This is a wind. Yesterday I closed my eye. I saw it again. I said, God, you don't want to stop her. God said, no. When the people stop, He, God, will stop. Messages have been carried to such people, stop sinning, but yet some of these people don't even want to see God. They have something they serve. Goddess of the water. Some of them serve hippopotamus. Where is the god of the hippopotamus? They abandon him. They are not serving animal. Some of them are serving just an image. They're there. By the time flood comes, it will carry you and the gods. Hello?
Hi.
That wind I'm seeing is the dangerous wind. Dangerous is to not leave one house standing. It will break, and because of the strongness of the wind, it will tear the ground. It will become earthquake. Ground will begin to tear and swallow houses. Swallow houses. Human being will be swallowed. My pain now is children that they just give birth to. You know, when God wants to sweep an environment, He doesn't care, because you have already initiated the child from the womb. Why keeping the child? He said, wipe up all the Amalekite. He knows the reason why. He said, don't spare anyone. They keep on sparing. And those people they spare keep on growing and worshiping idol. And they become great among us today. If God said wipe them up, wipe them up. The reason why we are still having Satan is because we continue to disobey. Disobedience is the cause of Satan among us. If the whole Amalekite was wiped away, where would Satan possess? Who will he enter? Because he will not enter those who have God in truth and in spirit.
Yes, sir.
There will be no room. And then he would have been arrested and sent to the bottomless pit by the same people who know God in truth and in spirit. Now, that is past. Earthquake, wind. Earthquake, wind.
This is CNN Breaking News.
A disaster in Italy. The death toll rising after today's powerful 6.2 earthquake there. The count is now at 120 killed, 100 hurt, but still countless others missing, and of course worries that death toll will rise. Here is why. The earthquake's epicenter shook a region in central Italy that's surrounded by mountains and filled with historic brick buildings, many of which collapsed in those tremors, leaving many still trapped beneath the rubble. Let me show you another view. On the left, that's a street corner seen on Google Earth before today's quake. On the right, that's that same street corner after today's quake. You could see the buildings crumbling there. Our Fred Pleitkin, he made his way to the epicenter of Amatrice, Italy. Fred, we know, and you've been speaking to rescue workers, these next few hours really critical for those rescue crews. Why is that?
Well, absolutely, Jim. They're saying that the first 72 hours are going to be absolutely critical, because they believe that if there are still people who might be trapped somewhere in the rubble of the buildings that you see behind me in this small town of Amatrice, that they might be able to survive for about 72 hours if they were able to get into some sort of crevice inside or some sort of gap inside and survive that initial collapse of the building. And I can tell you, the rescue crews are still very much at work here, even though it's pitch black outside. It's the middle of the night here in Italy. They're still working with sniffer dogs. They also have heavy equipment now where they're trying to cut through some of the rocks to see whether or not they can reach some people who might still be trapped underneath. And every once in a while, us who are standing out here are asked to be completely quiet. A whistle goes off and they say everybody be quiet, because they think they may have heard someone who might still be trapped underneath. We've had several of those alarms happen earlier, and so far they haven't found anyone in the time that we've been here, but there have been some people who have been pulled from the rubble in what has been a tragic day. Let's have a look.
Absolutely appalling noise, clinking, thundering, sort of rumble. It felt like someone had put a bulldozer under the house to try to knock it down.
The strong and shallow quake caused many of the ancient buildings in Amatrice and surrounding cities to crumble, trapping residents beneath the rubble.
The important thing is to stay calm. Police officers are on their way now.
They found 2 persons alive under a building that collapsed. So this is our first priority.
Amatrice's mayor, Sergio Perazzi, telling Rai News, quote, "The town is no more."
By sheer luck, I have no idea how I survived, just like many others. But many others did not.
No one is allowed to sleep in the town of Amatrice tonight, Italy's civil protection agency said. More than 1,000 people have been displaced because of the quake. Giancarlo was in a house on top of a hill that collapsed.
I can't go around without clothes. They gave me these shoes, so at least I'm not barefoot. But obviously we can't move around here. I heard people asking for help, people calling out, asking for help. But in this condition, what could I do?
Today's earthquake not far from the 2009 quake in L'Aquila that killed around 300 people. Lazio's regional government is asking for blood donations, and the local Red Cross has asked residents to open their Wi-Fi networks to improve rescue communications. He sent a team of 6 firemen from the Vatican Fire Department to aid in the search and rescue effort.
Thank you, Jesus. I'm repeating this message. 2 messages I want to repeat it before we start. Continue. It's prophecy concerning nations, concerning the world. Pray. I'm looking at the wind. I gave this prophecy last week? This is a wind. Yesterday I closed my eye. I saw it again. I said, God, you don't want to stop it. God said, no. When the people stop, He, God, will stop. Messages have been carried to such people, stop sinning, but yet, some of these people don't even want to see God. They have something they serve. Goddess of the water. Some of them serve hippopotamus. Where is the God of the hippopotamus? They abandon him. They are not serving animal. Some of them are serving just an image. They're there. By the time flood comes, it will carry you and the gods. Hello? Hi. That wind I'm seeing is the dangerous wind. Dangerous is to not leave one house standing. It will break, and because of the strongness of the wind, it will tear the ground. It will become earthquake. Ground will begin to tear and swallow houses. Swallow houses. Human being will be swallowed. My pain now is children that they just give birth to. You know, when God wants to soup an environment, He doesn't care, because you have already initiated the child from the womb. Why keeping the child? He said, wipe up all the Amalekite. He knows the reason why. He said, don't spare anyone. They keep on sparing. And those people they spare keep on growing and worshiping idol. And they become great among us today. If God said wipe them up, wipe them up. The reason why we are still having Satan is because we continue to disobey. Disobedience is the cause of Satan among us. If the whole Amalekite was wiped away, where would Satan possess? Who will he enter? Because he will not enter those who have God in truth and in spirit.
Yes, sir.
There will be no room. And then he would have been arrested and sent to the bottomless pit by the same people who know God in truth and in spirit. Now, that is past. Earthquake, wind. Earthquake, wind.
We've made it to the center of Amatrice, and there is a rescue going on in the rubble there. You can see right now they're bringing out someone on a stretcher. Is she alive? It looks like she is, which will be a huge relief to the workers here. The woman is being escorted down to an ambulance. She's waiting for her there. There is some relief among the rescue workers who have spent some time trying to reach her. That woman, the survivor, will now be taken in the ambulance down, first of all through a very damaged road and then perhaps towards a field hospital which has been set up in the grounds of the hospital, which has itself been damaged. But the rescue work here doesn't stop just because they've got one person out of the rubble. Look here on this hill. They're still going, tearing down pieces of rubble, and you can see the kind of numbers of people who are working here. There are some expert relief workers, but there are also people wearing their own clothes. These might simply be volunteers here who've decided not to wait for relief workers, who've decided simply to get things done. And bear in mind the earthquake happened at 3:30 in the morning. That means that most people will have been in their homes, and so the mayor and the relief workers will now be trying to account for everyone so that they can see just how many people may still be stuck in the rubble.